Hey everyone, this is Mark Wong from Empire AI, and we have here our co-founder Felicia Tua.
Hi.
Alright, as all of you know, recently we have rebranded ourselves into Empire AI, but already I have 2 feedback from parents, negative feedback, and they are hoping that you could address some of that feedback. But here, so what one of my parent friends told me, so she's a mom to 2 kids, and she told me, hey Mark, now that everyone's using ChatGPT, using AI, does that mean that my kids cannot learn how to think anymore? Is that true?
So yeah, we get that question a lot. So from how I would see it is that if they are just using ChatGPT and just consuming passively, for example, that applies also to someone scrolling YouTube, scrolling social media, or like even watching TV. It's just pure consumption. Whereas how we are teaching it is actually we are teaching them how to apply their thinking, because using AI, if you are not learning critical thinking and writing the right prompts, obviously you get bad results, poor quality output, which is not what kids or parents want. I do get questions from even my friends as well. Oh, we tried using AI, ChatGPT. ChatGPT was the first one that came out, so friends who will share with me, I get really poor results. It doesn't help me at all. And from my perspective, my answer to them is that's because if you don't give, in a way it's like rubbish in, rubbish out. If you don't give good prompts, which actually involves thinking, then you will not get a good output. Right? So everyone has to learn from that. Likewise for kids, for them to be able to write a good prompt, they actually need to break down the problem into little steps and then address it separately. How do I use AI to address part B, part C, and so on, if they have a big project that they want to work on. So it's not just passive consumption, they are actually actively engaged.
Now, the reason why we're even here for this conversation is also following our Minister for Education, Mr. Desmond Lee's speech recently on 1st April. Not an April Fool's joke, this is real. He mentioned that from primary 4 onwards, kids will actually be made to study AI in schools. And I just want to ask you, Felicia, so what does AI actually teach in a child? What does it cultivate? Besides preparing them for a very different future where AI is going to replace jobs? I
think personally, I feel that that's definitely a good move, because if you look at the news these days, that is a very different landscape of what the kids will grow up into, the kind of environment, and very different from our time. I just want to share a personal experience as well. My sister-in-law is very concerned about my 11-year-old nephew. She's trying to save up for his university, and she's holding 3 jobs to do that. But from my perspective, things change so fast. By the time he's 11 now, by the time he gets to 18, the world would be very, very different. So he might not even need to go to university. That's my perspective, because there's so much free, very good quality resources that's currently online, right? So the educational institutions that we see as of now would be very different from the one that he would enroll in 7 years' time. I don't have a clear answer. I don't have a concrete answer as to how it would change, but it would definitely change. Everyone can agree with that. It would definitely change. So I feel that there's no I feel that from my experience, educational centers, the big universities and so on, colleges, they take a longer time to adjust to how the environment, the landscape is changing. And I'll be very curious to see which educational center, institution rather, will change the way that they, because of this rapidly changing landscape, they would be able to address that question that I feel that probably a lot of parents are thinking right now. What would be the university format that kids would eventually grow up into or be educated in? What will they be learning? How will be the learning environment? What's the learning format like? So all this is still very, I believe all the big institutions are thinking about that and trying to refine the process. Sorry, so back to the question is, I guess what AI does is it definitely needs active engagement for the kids, because I feel that helps, because kids need to be very articulate when they do prompting, and they need very clear thinking, very good communication skills. So it will actually help kids in terms of communication skills, for example. And I feel that that's very important, because I'll be very honest, I wasn't strong in my communication skills, but I do feel that after using AI tools active for 2 years, it does help. I need to put my thoughts into a very structured format, firstly, and I need to give it very clear direction. And that actually requires very active engagement and thinking.
And critical thinking as well.
Yeah, exactly, and critical thinking, because I would think of yourself as a conductor. You don't need to learn each musical instrument. You just need to be able to direct the whole orchestra to perform in the way that you want it to. So things I feel that the landscape is changing very quickly. So I do feel that parents would be a bit concerned. What's the future like? Is there a wishing bowl or something where you can look into and then you go, oh, this is how it's going to be. But I also feel that these are very exciting times because it builds. I personally feel that very important is to be agile, because whatever tool that is popular right now. So when ChatGPT first came up, yes, it was the biggest thing. Everyone was talking about it, and then DeepSeek happened, right? And then now it's all about Claude.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter which platform that they are currently using. It's more, how quickly the child can adapt to different platforms. And I feel that that's going to be more important, a very important skill set to have, to be able to adapt quickly to multiple platforms and not be afraid of, oh, I don't know how to use this.
Yeah.
It's more like, let me find out how to use this.
You can ask AI.
Exactly.